Welcome to the Mommy Therapist. They're ready for you.
I'm Kristi.
And I'm Sasha.
We are moms who are also therapists to moms.
And we are passionate about supporting all moms through motherhood transitions, challenges, and beyond.
And we're so happy that you're here today. This is episode 10.
Oh my gosh.
We made it.
I can't believe it, honestly.
Do you remember how we said if we don't get to episode 10, check on us?
Yeah. And we're here.
We did it.
I just can't even believe it.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to our last episode where we discussed matrescence and taking nights off.
Matrescence came up on my Instagram. It's like all over now because of doing searches on it.
Oh, interesting.
And it's this thing. I didn't realize it's not in the dictionary. There's like a...
No, I think it's a made up term because I had never heard that term before you said it. But
yeah.
We do talk about it all the time.
So apparently it was first used in like 1973 by a psychologist, and it's become more prevalent since this book by Lucy Jones.
Yeah.
But there's like a petition to put it in the dictionary now because it's becoming...
Because it's so popular.
Yeah.
Hey,
and
that's
it
exciting.
like has an actual meaning.
That's fun.
Yeah. Interesting.
I love it.
I got some good feedback from some people in my life who said that they just love listening to the show, specifically the processing sections.
Oh,
fun. And that the life-changing sentences inspired new thought and like a new perspective of things.
Yeah,
and so
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. My sister actually she was Marco Poloing me the other day, and she was like, I am loving your podcast. My kids like listening to the podcast. Mm-hmm. And she started doing MEPS check-ins with her kids at the dinner table.
That's so
and they
great.
loved it. And she was like, yeah, I learned it from Sasha's podcast. And they were like, Sasha has a podcast? I want to listen. So it was so much fun. But she said maybe we should not do it because it feels like a therapy session, and she doesn't feel like she needs therapy anymore now because of it. And she thinks we're going to like work ourselves out of a job. So I was like, no, listen.
No, this is not meant to replace therapy.
It will not. No.
Yeah, no.
There's so much more we can do in a therapy session than we can do on a podcast.
Yes.
But it was just so fun to hear her feedback and how much she loves content. And she used Tip the other day.
Hey,
mm-hmm. So that was
look
exciting.
at this, us fighting the good fight of...
I know. It's exciting.
Oh, we just want y'all to be okay. We want ourselves to be okay too, by the way.
Yes. It helps us too.
It really does. Mm-hmm. All right. Today is going to be a special episode as part of...
so excited.
I know. So episode 10, we were kind of thinking about what we wanted to talk about, what would be most meaningful. And because this is called the Mommy Therapists, and we are mommies who are therapists, we really wanted to dedicate an episode to our own experiences becoming mothers, but specifically to our postpartum journeys.
Yes.
Because our personal journeys inspired us to become therapists and to walk with moms through this journey. I know.
We're going to cry in this one. We want to make sure that you are checking in with your systems as you're listening to this, and you may actually feel some things, feel some triggers, some activation based off of the stories if you have similar things coming up. So if that's happening for you, make sure you do some grounding, use some of our coping skills that we've discussed in the past, and
pause.
Yeah,
pause.
Cope. Take care of you.
Later.
Yeah, if you need to.
Yeah. Okay, so first we're going to start with some of our narratives of some of the things that we went through, and then we have a few kind of interview style questions. So let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
Sasha, do you want to
go first?
Want to start?
Yeah. So P turned 14 on Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
And I was so nostalgic.
14
I have a 14-year-old.
That was your Mother's Day.
That was my Mother's
14
Day.
years. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And that was kind of what inspired, like we decided we wanted to pull her up and we wanted to tell her all of the, like her birth story, and we wanted to like reminisce about things. And she made me cry several times on Sunday. Just reminiscing through it. I was telling her the story, which I'll get into in just a minute, but Derek made a comment at one point. He said, all of that mom was going through is what inspired her to change careers and do what she's doing now. And I was like, it just kind of like overwhelmed me with like how many people that I've helped over the last few years and like, and why I'm doing this. And I told her, I just said, guess what? You changed my life in more ways than you can ever count because you were born.
Wow.
So there we go. Tears are already flowing. I wore waterproof mascara on purpose today.
This is tender.
It is tender. So I have to start with the fact that P was 2 weeks overdue, and we literally had to force her out.
Oh my word.
2 weeks. It was miserable. The midwives ended up breaking my water. I don't necessarily want to get into like my birth story, but it was a bit of a traumatic birth for me. Yes. And I think that definitely is like a precursor for postpartum mood disorders for sure. It's not a guarantee, but it can
increase your risks.
It increases risks. Yes. So we had a bit of a traumatic birth. Derek actually, when we were telling her, he was like, he like stood with like his arms and legs out and said like, it was almost like you were doing this and I'm not coming out. I'm not coming out of there, which is totally her, you know?
Yep.
My postpartum journey kind of started very slowly. So it was like something would change here and there. Right. Mm-hmm. To the point where like none of us really recognized it until I was 6 months postpartum.
Wow.
And I'll tell you how we figured it out too, because that's kind of a funny story. So P had colic. It was really hard. She would cry for 2 hours straight before falling asleep. And there was nothing helped her, nothing soothed her. Derek and I would take turns like every 30 minutes, like passing her off, and we'd have to like go in the other room and turn the monitor off so we couldn't hear and kind of get that breather from the crying. So that kind of started things off. But what I noticed is, you know, I stopped taking care of myself, right? I stopped showering regularly. I stopped getting dressed, brushing my teeth. That was another one.
That's always the first one to go.
I feel like it, because it's, so easy. Not eating well. But I didn't notice any of those things because I was so stuck in having to take care of her.
Okay.
And wanting to be a good mom. And I noticed as well that I did not bond with her immediately. And I felt really guilty about that.
Yes. Yeah.
Breastfeeding was hard. And, you know, I started having these days where I would say, oh, we're going to have bed days. And it was supposed to be like this endearing thing where we're just like snuggling in bed all day. But really, I just didn't want to get out of bed. And so I literally took care of her from bed.
Depression disguised as self-care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I justified it, right? I justified my behavior. I was anxious all the time. I remember waking up in the morning and just thinking, okay, here we go again. What's today going to look like? Can't wait for Derek to get home.
Yeah, like he hasn't even left yet, and I can't wait for him to get home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then waiting for nighttime just so I could go back to sleep, you know? There wasn't a whole lot of joy going on in my world. And the one thing I noticed, which is why we encourage humor and hobbies so much in our group sessions, you know, is that the only time I didn't feel like I had that weight on my chest and didn't feel that anxiety was when I was watching Ellen.
Yes.
Because she was making me laugh, right? Yeah. So I kind of got obsessed with that. And I now recognize that what I was dealing with was postpartum OCD.
Okay.
But that was not a thing then.
No.
14 years ago. They didn't have any of it. So, but I was tracking like to the minute every little thing that she would do in this app that I had, so that I could try to come up with the patterns and figure out how to best take care of her, and being very precise about pumping and when she was eating. And it was very obsessive, very obsessive. So at one point I actually ended up getting gallstones.
Okay. About
3 months after she was born. I had to have surgery, had to have my gallbladder removed. And that was, I kind of got that with that like hospital fantasy kind of a thing.
You got to live it out.
Yeah, I did. So I'm like, okay, so now everybody has to take care of me. I got to go home the same day, but But everybody had to take care of me. Everybody else had to take care of P. And so I got this break, right? And I noticed how wonderful and like how wonderful it felt, really. And I didn't like that. That made me feel guilty, right?
Yeah.
I have all these thoughts. So, but then, and then I got a puppy. Dude,
Girl.
I know. I had a 5-month-old baby and I got a puppy. I don't know what that was about.
I think we know what it was about.
Am I crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just feel the crazy, right? And that was Coda, actually, the one we just put down. So, yeah.
You're probably trying to find some sort of happiness. And if you weren't feeling it with your baby, puppies do that.
That's kind of,
right?
That's kind of how it felt. And she did, but she was also a very naughty puppy. So potty training a puppy and training a puppy was like crazy. So
tell me how this escalated.
Yeah.
How did you figure this out?
This is where it gets to. I had to get a follow-up MRI from the gallbladder surgery. And I can get pretty claustrophobic. So they asked me, do you want something to calm your anxiety while you're in the MRI machine? And they gave me a bunch of Valium.
Wonderful.
I know, right? So Derek and my mom took me. Derek, because I get loopy on Benadryl, and he's like, will you record her when she's on it? Because I want to see it. They thought it was going to be hilarious. And I felt normal for the first time in 6 months. Mm-hmm. And that's how I realized, okay, something's going on. I start doing research, which was not prevalent at the time. And I called Derek and I was like, something's wrong. We got to fix something. They didn't have specialties like they have now. Nobody really specialized. There wasn't this like PMHC postpartum certification that they have now. So I found a therapist. It took a really long time because, I want to like air quote normal depression. Right. Because it is very different. And the things that you worry about is very different. And how we treat it is very different.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize that. And that is exactly what made me go, okay, this is not okay. Like,
I'm not okay.
I'm not okay.
This is not normal.
And that's when I switched majors.
Because you were in school at this time?
I was in school.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Let's add that on top of it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I got my bachelor's degree in psychology and I minored in human development and family services because I thought I wanted to do research. I didn't think I wanted to do therapy and be a clinician. But then I was like, no, something needs to be done about this. I need to be like hands-on with this and maybe I can do research later. And so that's what I did. So again, she changed my life in a lot of ways. And yeah.
So you started going to therapy.
Yes.
And then how long did it take for you to start feeling like yourself again?
Probably about 6 to 9 months, I would say.
Okay.
To actually start feeling like I could see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm so passionate about our IOP program because we can make our research, the data that we have says that they're 50% better in 16 weeks on average, sometimes faster. And that just fills my heart with so much warmth and joy that I was able to do that and give that to these moms so they're not sitting there like I was for so long feeling just awful and having all these intrusive thoughts,
Yeah. And feeling confused as to why. And like the other and like broken and not sure what to do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is this ever going to get better?
Yeah.
I remember thinking I want to crawl into a dark hole until it's all over. Like just let it go away. Just get rid of it.
Just wait for it to pass.
Yeah. Yeah. When am I going to feel better?
Yeah. So that was with your first baby. How did your postpartum show up? Like, what was it like for your following babies?
So with Kay, it was more anxiety. I had a lot of panic attacks. That started while I was pregnant, but got a lot better, a lot faster because I was aware and I knew what was happening. There was some dissociation with Kay that really kind of scared Derek There was a few episodes that he was like, where did you go? Where are you? You know? Yeah. And again, I didn't know what any of that was either, you know? So there was that with Kay. But that got better pretty quickly afterwards, after I got back on my meds and was doing well. With C, there was a little bit more resentment. Mm-hmm. And so that one was more of like a postpartum rage kind of a thing. I had more irritability. Mm-hmm. But again, I was aware of it and able to cope with it. And so it really didn't show up with her.
Okay. You were prepared. You had a toolbox full of tools. I was like,
here we go. I know what I'm doing. I had started my first internship here at this clinic when she was 1, when she turned 1. So yeah, wow. I had started the IOP program. That's wild. Mm-hmm. And then with Jay, I mean, I had her during the pandemic. I had her in 2020. So
yeah, you were set up for mood disorders.
That was just like, I mean, she was just really boredom, honestly, you know? I didn't really feel anxious, sad. I think my OCD amped up a little bit, but I wasn't aware of it then. Okay. I still hadn't known that that this was a thing. So it did amp up a little bit, but.
So when you first went to your therapist for the postpartum OCD, you didn't know that it was OCD and the therapist didn't identify it as such?
Oh, no, I didn't find out I had OCD until 2 years ago.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
But it has been here since your first was born?
Yes. I think it's actually been here since I was a teenager. The more I look back, I'm like, I can see where this switched, but I think it's kind of ebbed and flowed throughout my life. And I think it just was the worst with P.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And you sometimes think that, like, I dealt with it with my first, so now I know.
Yes.
And I feel like it's different every time.
Oh, it is different every time. And I think people also worry that if I dealt with it with this one, then I can't have another baby because I'm not going to.
Because it'll get worse.
Yeah, it's going to be worse. It's going to happen again. I don't want to go through this again. And that's scary.
Yeah.
It is scary.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me yours. Tell me your stories.
Okay. So for my journey, I have 3 kiddos. My oldest, E, just turned 11. So I'm not too far behind you.
No, you're not.
And he was very planned. I was so excited to be a mom. I got married a little bit later in life, which, I mean, it's not actually. I got married when I was 26, but in Utah, that's later in life.
I was 27. Yeah. So
and decided that I wanted to have my first baby around the age of 30. Mm-hmm. So when I got pregnant, I was just so excited. I was the happiest pregnant woman ever. I loved every moment of it, even though I was so sick. Mm-hmm. I was planning all the things. My nursery was beautiful. I felt the most beautiful that I've ever been. It was a beautiful time, and I expected that to continue on, right? Mm-hmm. I did have some issues with my blood pressure, so my doctor was on
alert.
My doctor was alert, about preeclampsia, so she decided to induce me 10 days early because of that, because he was measuring well. So I had to be induced, which I wasn't expecting, but I trusted my doctor. But that kind of, I think, started the ball rolling of trying to force my body to do something it wasn't ready to do. Mm-hmm. So, I had to go in the night. It was like at 9 p.m. Checked in, and they got me into the hospital, and they gave me all the medicines to help, ripen my cervix. And because I wasn't even dilated at all, I was not there yet. And I know with first babies, like with P, they usually come later. Our bodies need to figure that out. They need time to figure that out. So I, that whole night was trying to get everything ready so that in the morning they could break my water and give me Pitocin, and labor really hard all day and with an epidural. So I really kind of felt disconnected from my labor because of that. But I was so scared of the pain.
Right.
So we got him here safely. Because of kind of the forceful nature of it, though, I did have a pretty significant tear. Mm-hmm. And that caused a lot of pain and discomfort for like 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
It took me 4 months to really recover from birth, which felt a little bit traumatic. There were times where I didn't know if I was going to be okay. There were times I didn't know if he was going to be okay. But we got him here. And I was like, oh, like my boy is here. And I, again, just got that big hit of oxytocin of like, this is going to be the best, most amazing thing.
I wish you could see her face. It just like lit up. It was so cute. Yeah.
And then
we
went home.
Yes.
And I really struggled with breastfeeding. It was something that I really, really wanted to do. It was really important to me. And I had been told, I had been fed all of this information that this is absolutely the best thing you could ever possibly do. So I had this expectation in my mind that I am going to do it no matter what. We'll figure it out. I did the nursing classes beforehand. I met with lactation consultants in those following weeks, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
I tried to, pay attention to your baby and feed them every 2 hours and nurse until they stop and everything should be fine. And we went in a few days later, and my doctor, who was wonderful, just very kindly said, how has it been going? After they weighed him and saw that he had lost a significant amount of weight since birth. Okay. And I was like, it's good. He's really sleepy, but I nurse him when he wakes up and it seems like it's going okay. I feel like my milk's come in. And she said, I just want to see something. Is it okay if we just try something? And I was like, sure. So she had me nurse him a little bit and weighed him. And then she said, it doesn't seem like he's getting a lot from your feeding. And I'm not sure why. So let's kind of figure that out. So then she asked, would it be okay if we offered him a bottle just to see if he's swallowing okay? So they gave him a little 2-ounce formula and he
inhaled it.
He inhaled the whole thing.
What a wonderful doctor. I'm sorry. Like, you don't get
She's
that very
wonderful.
much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's like, okay, so it's not like, it seems like he's eating okay. So I wonder if, let's talk to the lactation consultant. Let's make sure his latch is good. Let's make sure, you're doing okay. You're producing. But would it be okay if we just kind of supplement until we get things going? And I was like, of course. Absolutely.
Well,
What she didn't say is your baby has lost enough weight that he may not thrive. And we absolutely need to get him on formula right away.
Yes. That's what a lot of them do say. And then moms feel guilty. We should have a whole other breastfeeding conversation.
A whole breastfeeding episode.
We should.
But I was so grateful, but I was also had so much guilt of like, because I saw the weight on the scale. Yeah. I knew what he lost. And I immediately was like, that's my fault.
Oh, there we go. It's okay. I know.
I'm not doing it, right? My baby might not survive because I can't do this.
Right.
So my anxiety took over.
For sure.
And I got really obsessive and I drank all the teas, and my mom found this amazing lactation cookie recipe. And I was eating literally only cookies. And I was breastfeeding for 40 minutes. And then I would pump for 40 minutes to get all the fatty milk out, because it turned out that my little guy just did not have a very strong latch. So while I had milk and while he could swallow, essentially they said he's a lazy eater. Oh. So he wasn't sucking out the fatty milk. So he would nurse for 40 minutes and still be hungry. But my body was sore and tired from all of that. But then I would go immediately to my pump to pump out all that fatty milk, to put in a bottle that then his dad would give him. And then I was over on the couch crying because I was exhausted, because I would nurse and then I would pump, and then I would have 20 minutes before I would need to nurse again and then pump again.
That was exactly my experience. And I did it. I still did it. But
it was horrible.
Yeah.
But I thought, this is absolutely the best thing and I have to do this. I don't have a choice here.
Right.
We would have family members come over, friends come over to see the baby and to see me. And I could barely stay in the same room with anybody. Because I was like, oh, well, I got to go nurse now, or I got to go pump now, or here, I just fed the baby. You can take him. I'm going to go pump. Like, I didn't see people. And they were like, is she okay? And my mom was like, not really. It's just hard, but it's okay.
Your mom.
But like, my mom is a saint, and she was there for so much support, because my husband at the time was working full time and he was in an MBA program. So he just wasn't very present. It's also our first baby. He doesn't really know. Right. We also grew up in very different cultures.
Yes.
And so I think his expectations and mine were vastly different, which we didn't really realize at the time. I went to my 6-week checkup with my OB to check up on my birth, right? On my vaginal tear and all of that. And she just said, so how's it going? And I just sobbed.
Oh.
I sobbed. And she was like, what's happening? Is everything like, tell me what's going on. Yeah. And I just said, I can't feed him. I'm doing everything. And I just felt so incapable.
Yeah.
And
it's like
weak.
coming back up for me too.
Right?
My parts are activated.
And broken and just, I want this so badly. And I was told your body knows what to do. So why isn't it doing it?
Right.
And my doctor just held me and said, you need to stop now. And I was like, what do you mean? I can't stop. I literally was like, no, I don't accept that. I don't accept that feedback.
I do not consent.
And she was like, she had to like kind of get me back. And then I remember her saying, your baby needs a happy mom way more than he needs your breast milk. Yeah. And I just cried because I think I needed someone to give me permission. Yeah. Because I wasn't about to give myself permission to stop. Yeah. And so I weaned over the next 2 weeks. My last feeding with him, I sobbed. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I can't do this for you. But I have to. And then I fed him formula the rest of his life secretly. I even would pretend that like formula in my diaper bag around my friends. I'm like, oh, I got my milk. You know, I would pretend it was pumped milk because I was so ashamed. Even though they didn't care. Looking back, they didn't care.
Nobody cares.
But because of feeling so incapable and weak and shameful, I was so depressed.
Yeah.
That made me spiral into this, like, I don't want to be around people. What if they know that I can't do this? Every time I fed my baby a bottle for those first couple of months, I just felt so awful.
Yeah.
I did around 8 weeks after my doctor was like, you need to stop and you need to find some moms. You need to find some people. Because I had decided at this point I was not going to go back to work, that I was going to stay at home because it was kind of a question of what I was going to go back to work. And I decided, no, I would stay home. So around 8 weeks is when I found this local moms club. And I went and I was terrified. Yeah. But I was like, I need people. I need someone to tell me that this is normal. Yeah. Everything's going to be okay. And I met amazing women that I went to dinner with a month ago, right? Yeah. I'm still friends with. And they just helped. They really helped normalize the struggles. Yeah. You know, when I said something, when I gave a little bit of my truth just to see what they would say, they would go, oh, yeah, me too, but like way worse. Yeah. And like, let me tell you about this and let me tell you about this and oh, my second this and this. And I just, for the first time, felt like, oh, it's not normal for everything to work. That's actually not very typical. And between going to a therapist and spending time with these wonderful women who helped normalize things and really picked me up when I was down, that kind of got me through it. It took about a year. Yeah. And then he and I reattached and bonded so tightly after all of that. Yeah. Which is great. But it was really, really hard. Mm-hmm. So going into my second birth, which was also planned, and I was so excited, and it was my baby girl, who I just wanted so much. I was like, okay, breastfeeding was my downfall. So
what are we going to do?
Everything else was fine. Yeah. So I'm going to set myself up for success, and I'm going to give myself 2 weeks. And I'm going to say, if it is not working like clockwork in 2 weeks, I'm done. Because I know my first was raised mostly in formula, and he is so smart and so healthy, and he got some antibodies, but he's like so good to go. Yeah. No issues. So I felt comfortable with that and more confident. And with her, it did work like clockwork.
Isn't that funny?
Within 2 weeks, we had a whole pattern down. I was nursing great. Her latch was great. My supply was great. I tried to pump a couple of times and had like severe panic attacks and was like, I've got PTSD from pumping the first time. So I decided I'm not going to pump. I said, we're going to have formula in the cupboard if we need to supplement or if I am not around. Mm-hmm. And I'll just nurse her when I am. And I nursed her exclusively till she was 10 months old. Wow. And it worked amazing. And I was like,
isn't that wonderful?
Weird. Hey, it happened, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
But what was interesting was I still had postpartum struggles, even though nursing went great. Because now I wasn't sleeping because I was the sole feeder.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So with my first, after that 8 weeks, I wasn't waking myself up to nurse or pump so I could sleep. But with this one, I was the exclusive feeder, so I didn't sleep well for 10 months. And so I, with my second, had a lot more of that postpartum anxiety and rage. And I would lose it with my first because he was a toddler. And so I was so on edge about everything that he was the one I was screaming at. And I just felt horrible. So I went back to my therapist and I was like, I need help. This is different. She is amazing. She held my hand and walked me through it. And at this point, she kind of asked some questions about my support system. And I realized that not only was it hard having the kiddos, but I was in a relationship that wasn't really meeting my needs either, which just compounded everything.
For sure.
And the reason I ended up weaning her around 10 months, we could have gone the full year, but it's because I was getting ready to move out.
Right.
Because my marriage was collapsing. And it was a really, really crappy time for all of that to happen because my hormones were everywhere.
She was only 10 months old. I didn't realize that.
The last thing like we did together was her first birthday. Was at the end of August, and on Labor Day I moved out. Wow. So, yeah. So that compounded everything. And then that was the September of 2019, which means we went straight into 2020 that next spring, which was great. I needed the break. Yeah. And I realized I have a snapshot of my schedule with the kids before COVID and after. Because before COVID, it literally was jam-packed. Right. Because I was a stay-at-home mom, I knew I thrived off of doing things. It was, all right, we have a play date here. We have a playground thing here. We're going on a hike here. And then we've got swim lessons on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And then we have this and that. And there were things every single day. And after COVID, it was like twice a week, maybe we could get out of the house. And it kind of shifted that whole perspective on how busy we need to be, because I think that feeds some of those mood disorders because of those expectations we have.
For sure.
With my third baby, this is with now my current husband, Zachary, who's wonderful. So our third is our little blended family baby. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't sure at this point if I wanted more children, but my husband doesn't have any of his own. And while he is an amazing stepdad, that's something that he really always kind of wanted. And so I kind of said, awesome, let's at least try, right? Let's do it. And it happened right away, which means it was meant to happen. But because I wasn't quite mentally ready for it, like you said with number 3, it brought up some of that resentment of like, oh, I already did this, or I was in a really, really good place, like the best place mentally and physically I had been my whole life. And then pregnancy happens.
Yes.
And it shifts everything again.
Right. There's a feeling like I have to pause everything in my life right now to take care of this little baby.
Right.
And then,
right. And I was in the middle of finishing my schoolwork, to become a clinician as part of my new life change 2.0. And so there was just so much going on at that time. But I thought, I've got more tools and knowledge than ever, so I'll be fine, right? And I wasn't. Yeah. But it wasn't the same as like that low depression. And it wasn't just full anxiety. It was so much more of just like the matrescence thing, like a shift of like, who am I? What do I want to be? I'm confused. I'm not super attached to this baby right now. And I'm not sure why. And I remember saying to Zach a few times, I feel like the first 2 are my kids, and I feel like this baby is your kid, because that's how detached I felt.
Oh yeah.
And because of being in school and having the other kiddos, I had a lot of help from my husband and from my mom, and I kind of felt like I was just one of 3 caregivers.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't my shift today.
It wasn't my shift. That makes sense.
And it caused a weird level of detachment and resentment that I feel like I finally kind of worked through this past year. Like he just turned 3.5. Yeah. But it took that long to really give myself permission to accept what happened,
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a weird journey.
That it was okay, right? I think with C, it took me the longest to attach to her. Mm-hmm. It took about 9 months. Mm-hmm. But because I knew that was a thing at this point, that it could happen and that it's okay, I didn't feel bad about it. I knew it would happen, Mm-hmm. So that tool in my toolbox really helped me. But it sounds like you didn't have that in your brain.
I didn't have that, no. Because
I didn't have anyone to tell you that.
No, I felt pretty attached with my first 2, even despite the other issues.
Yeah.
And so this, it just was totally different. And I carried it with me for a while.
Yeah. The guilt and shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually went to a specific postpartum support group for number 3 because of feeling just so yucky about it all.
Yeah.
like I was,
this doesn't feel right.
Yeah. It was bizarre.
And didn't you, I think I remember when you started working in PMAT IOP, I remember a conversation when you said, I feel like I'm far enough away from my postpartum journey that I can do it now.
Yes.
I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Because I started as an intern in our postpartum IOP while I was pregnant. So then I left and had my baby, and I stayed home for 4 months. And then when I came back to work, I told you, I don't think I'm ready to be a support yet for that space because I'm still in it.
Yes.
And it took a few months for me to come back and feel ready to give and not just receive in that space. Yeah. Okay. So now that we've kind of told our stories, I have a few questions that we're both going to just kind of answer. So the first one is, what surprised you most about your own postpartum emotional experience?
Oh man, I think there's a lot to unpack there because they were all so different. Mm-hmm. I actually think the part that surprised me the most was that I was even dealing with any sort of mood disorder at all afterwards.
Sure. Yeah.
I thought I was going to be I used to work in childcare. Like I ran an infant room. I would take care of 4 babies at a time, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I can do this.
How hard can it be?
It's one child, you know? And the fact that I felt like such a failure with the colic, I'm like, I get babies to sleep. I've been called the baby whisperer before because I get them to sleep. Why can't I get my baby to sleep, you know?
Yeah.
All of these expectations that I had for myself and some that society kind of puts on you were like, just made me feel like I was a failure through the whole thing. And those were most of the thoughts and most of the anxiety that was coming up for me, you know?
Yeah. I think that's similar for number 3 was I felt like I had all this knowledge and I had worked with postpartum moms and I had postpartum therapists as friends. But my third, I felt like was the hardest in some ways.
Yeah.
Even having all of that. And that was definitely surprising. I was also just surprised at how quickly I feel like the medical community will just reassure you that like, oh, just try, everything will work out. It'll all just happen.
Yeah.
Your body knows what to do. I feel like I heard that so much in my birthing classes and my breastfeeding classes. And I just feel like there is so much more variability.
Yeah.
And so many more perspectives than just like, oh, yep, this is what happens. It's been happening since the dawn of time.
And it just works.
And it doesn't. That's a lie. That's a bald-faced lie.
We could do a whole episode on expectations.
Yeah. And I think that was just surprising that all these things I was told weren't actually true. Right?
Yes.
Was there a moment postpartum when you realized, oh, this is way harder than I expected? And what was it? I know we kind of already chatted, but
yeah, but
do you have like a specific memory?
I don't know if I have a specific memory, but I do remember thinking that a lot and then trying to push it away, like push it out of my brain because the OCD part, magical thinking, oh, this is harder than I thought. Nope, can't think that because that means it's going to make it hard, you know? And I can do this. I've got this. This isn't, you know, I might have to think on that one a little bit more and maybe get back to you later. I think breastfeeding was a big one.
Yeah.
Because like my grandma, I remember my grandma being like, I don't understand why we have all of these lactation consultants and all of that because when we were nursing, we were just nursing, you know, we would just do it. Yeah. And I'm like, thanks, Grandma.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
But
well, man. A memory that comes up that I haven't already talked about because I think sitting in the doctor's office going, oh, my baby's not going to survive was probably the one.
Yeah.
But the second one would be with my daughter. You know, nursing was going amazing. And around 6 months, I got a clogged milk duct and I had mastitis.
Oh.
And I decided to nurse through it. I decided to not take that as a sign that I should stop. So for probably a month, from like 6 to 7 months, which luckily she had started food, so I wasn't her sole source of nutrition.
Yeah.
But for about a solid month, every time she latched, it felt...
It's the most...
If you have never experienced this, it literally feels like needles in your nipples. Mm-hmm. It is the most painful. So every time she would latch, I would cry. Oh. And then within that first 10 or 15 seconds, it would kind of go numb. The pain would just be so much. You would just kind of go numb. And then she would nurse. And then as soon as she unlatched, you would feel it all over again. It's almost like the needles in your feet when they're like waking up. And it hurt so much. But I decided, because again, it was so important to me that I could finally do it. Why would I give up now? It's working.
Yeah.
So it was harder than it should have been. And you know, hindsight, maybe I should have just said 6 months was enough and I don't need to put myself through this torture to prove something to myself. But I did.
Hey,
because that's what we do.
You got through it, right? That's what moms do. We just put ourselves through it all.
Yes, we do. Many moms feel pressure to be grateful and happy after baby arrives. Mm-hmm. Did you experience any emotions that you felt were taboo or difficult to admit?
Yeah, the fact that I didn't bond with P immediately, I felt very ashamed of that.
Yeah.
I do remember the exact moment that I bonded with her, though. It was middle of the night, right? Up nursing.
Yep.
She was almost 6 weeks old. And I didn't have to go back to work. I wasn't even in school at that time. I took a semester off. And I looked down at her little face and I realized a lot of moms have to go back to work.
Yep.
And how little she was. I was so like sad and devastated that other moms might have to do that and I didn't have to, that it just like, I don't know, I couldn't stop looking at her. I think I sat there for like a half an hour just staring at her after she was done nursing and just like, I don't know what it was, but like that was really special.
Yeah. Like gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that feeling, the fact that I didn't bond with her kind of started the whole guilt and shame spiral.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was so impatient, kind of like your, you know, induction. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was just so impatient to meet her that I forced her out, and that's kind of what caused said traumatic birth to happen.
Yeah.
So that was all my fault too.
Oh,
because I had an idea. Right. It's all,
okay.
It's all our fault.
Yeah. I think that feeling of disconnection with number 3 was really hard to admit. I think just the overall feeling that you're a failure.
Yeah.
You know, especially it's something that I looked forward to my whole life. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of raised in a home where motherhood and parenthood is like this really honorable, wonderful thing. And I remember actually being kind of bitter a little bit as I did not get married and was focusing on my career. How everyone was just going to expect me to give it up as soon as I had a kid. Yeah. We're like, oh, well, you're just using your time until you have your family. And I kind of was annoyed by that, but that's how I was raised. And so I think part of my brain was like, well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to do something too important because I'm not going to do it as soon as I have my kiddos. Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's another thing. I hated being a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I would love it, and I hated it. And my mom loved it. Like, she never wanted to work. She had to go back to work here and there for little bits of time, but she loved it. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to love it. I thought I was going to love pregnancy. I hate pregnancy.
Yeah.
It's the worst part.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I hated just being home all the time and trying to find ways to take care of myself. So that was kind of a shocker for me too, actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah. See more on episode 4. If you haven't listened to episode 4, we talk about that at length. Even as a therapist, was there a moment when you struggled to recognize or accept your own postpartum mental health needs?
Well, obviously with P, like I didn't.
Yeah, you weren't quite there, but like with the last two.
The last two.
How aware were you when you were struggling?
I think with Kay, I was not aware of what I was experiencing until we had these moments of like Derek being like, whoa, where'd you go there? What's happening?
Yeah.
Didn't recognize that what I was experiencing were panic attacks. And at that point, I was working on my social work degree. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't actually a therapist until C&J. And I feel like I was pretty aware of it by then. But I was also experienced from the other two. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a good question for me. What about you?
Okay. I think there are times that I struggled to maybe accept that I needed outside help because I feel like I could help myself.
Oh, okay.
You know, like with number 3, I'm like, I know what to do.
Yeah.
I've got a binder.
Yeah.
I've talked to my husband. I know all my coping skills. He knows what to say to me. We've got routines set up. Mm-hmm. But I didn't prepare for the resentment or the detachment. I prepared for anxiety and depression, and that wasn't my issue.
Yeah.
My issue was that I didn't want to be doing that because I had other things I'd rather be doing, which
because I was excited about it.
Yeah.
Right?
And so I think I struggled to recognize exactly what that was. Mm-hmm. And it came out as a lot of irritability.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I did struggle knowing or recognizing what it was and maybe even acknowledging that I should probably talk to someone about it instead of just being like, I know. I'm a therapist. I know what I would tell me.
I work with moms. It's fine.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. What support actually helped you postpartum? Mm-hmm. And what support do we think helps moms but often misses the mark?
Ooh, having Derek on board for sure. Having him know and understand what I was experiencing. That was really helpful. In the beginning, there was a lot of like, well, just stop it. Just stop, right? Yeah. Just stop thinking like that's silly. Don't think like that. Don't make the lists. Don't fill out the app. Things. Yeah. And that's not helpful. I think a lot of society is like, oh, well, yeah, I experienced that too. No, you didn't. No, you didn't quite experience it that way. That's not exactly what I'm talking about. I think a lot of people try to give advice that just sort of like folds into those expectations and then makes us feel even more ashamed and guilty and not want to open up.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Does that make sense?
Like enjoy them when they're little.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dismisses any hard feelings you might have.
Because they grow up so fast and it's like, so I have to enjoy every single moment with this screaming child every single night? I don't think so.
No, that doesn't mean you have to enjoy it.
No. Shout out to Christina Kuzmik for her we don't have to enjoy every moment of parenthood videos. If you haven't seen her, go check out her YouTube channel. She's amazing.
She's great. I feel like a lot of the support people think that we need is let me come over and hold the baby for you. And that's like the last thing that we actually need.
Sometimes that's helpful, but not for very long.
Yeah. I much preferred it when I had people come over and held me.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
I like that. Just be
come
my
and
support.
hold me. Mm-hmm. Or my mom is really good at this. She would just walk in the house and immediately do the dishes and do the laundry and vacuum and wipe things up and wash the bottles and wash the pump. And
that's wonderful.
She would literally just like be like, what do you need? She'd bring me water. She'd bring me food. Mm-hmm. She would cook. She would leave food in the freezer. Like she just did everything else so that all I had to do was sit and be with my baby.
Right.
Or go sleep next to the baby. Or, and I feel like that support is so helpful. And I know not everyone has those trusted people that can come in and do those things. Mm-hmm. But I do find it supportive when people just want to sit with you. Yeah. And I do love the meal train thing now. And it's like, don't just say, let me know if I can help. Say like, I'm bringing you groceries or I'm bringing you food. Mm-hmm. I think those are really helpful.
Just say you're doing it because
just hold the mom a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. I love that. I think this is something that I say to all moms. A lot of people are like, hey, do you need help? Do you need help? No, I don't need help.
No,
I can do
thanks.
it. I can do it. So what I say is, would you like help? Would you like some help? Mm-hmm. And I also think not being afraid to ask, how's it going? You okay? Mm-hmm. How are you doing emotionally? Don't be afraid to ask those questions.
Yeah. Or even just say, that was a really hard time for me. How are you holding up?
Yeah.
Because that really gives some safety of, it was hard for you because it's really hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you'd be like, oh, I loved it. How are you?
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you.
Yeah. I'm not sharing that.
Yeah. This is one reason I think I love working with postpartum moms, because we've been there.
Yeah.
And I think that creates safety. So if you can suggest to a mom like, oh, this is hard. I've been there. I really need, I didn't take a shower. Can I come hold your baby so you can take a shower? Or, just things like that are really specific or very like, I want to do this. When can I? Is a good question of, I want to bring you lunch. Does Friday work?
Yeah.
So then it's not like hey, do you need some food? Because we're going to say, I'm good.
We're fine.
I don't want to burden you.
It.
I'm not a burden. I'm not allowed to be a burden. But if you say, I want to take care of you, can I come on Friday?
I like that. Just give the time.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah. Just say, this is what I want to do. What day is best? I
love that.
So, okay, last question. If a postpartum mom is listening to this and they feel overwhelmed or disconnected or they're struggling,
I have a feeling you're going to make me cry again.
What would you want her to know?
So it's something that I heard in a PMAD training. You're not a failure. This is common. It's not normal, but it's common. And with treatment, you will be well. And the ship does sail, and you will be better. And I know that because I've seen it and I've lived it. So don't be afraid,
Yeah. There is light
Don't
at
be
the end of
afraid
the tunnel. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew you were going to do that.
I think the thing that I would tell her, you're not supposed to do this by yourself.
I like that.
You think you have to, but you're actually not even supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, we as humans, we are a community.
Yes.
Like, we live in communities, and this is that term of it takes a village is absolutely true. But our society has literally eliminated villages, so you have to find it.
Yeah.
Go find the village. Those moms that I met during my first postpartum saved my life and my baby's life. They saved me. And that was outside of my mom and my husband. Find the people around you, because they are there. We are there. Whether it's therapists or doctors or neighbors or friends or family or people you haven't seen in a while, or don't hesitate to just look for those support places, because they are there and you deserve support. You're not supposed to do it by yourself.
You deserve support. You deserve, self-care, self-compassion.
Yeah.
You're not a terrible mom because you're having a hard time.
Yeah.
Because
and
guess
also,
what? It's hard.
It's hard. And especially if this is your first baby.
Yes.
You're not supposed to know what you're doing. You've never done it before.
Even if you think you did.
Yeah. Lean on the people who have done it. Lean on the people who are in a stable place and can give back to you. You're allowed to take. You're allowed to receive. Yeah. You're not supposed to do it by yourself.
I love that.
Hang in there, moms.
Hang in there. We've got you. We'll hold your hand. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for showing up for yourself today.
You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, or email us at themommytherapists@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what made an impact or what you'd like to hear in a future episode.
Whether it's supporting someone through their postpartum journey or thinking a little differently about your own, we hope something good happens today.
See you next week.
Take care.